morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's funny, Tuesday was always the most exciting day of the week. Now, every morning is exciting. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I think, are still a little more, they have a different energy because I'm reading for people that I have no clue who you are, which is always a much different kind of reading than it is for like the THM club, for instance, people that I talk to all the time, because even if I don't remember who you are when you're calling in, your loved ones do, and their messages change every time you get a message. So Tuesdays are pretty special to me. Tuesdays and now Thursdays. So hello, welcome to everybody. It's good to see everybody again. Please, before we start taking some messages, please do note that the event, Afternoon with Spirit, is this Sunday, you guys, and we're not sold out yet. I still have like half the tickets. This is like the first month that it hasn't sold out. So definitely lots of tickets still available, but that being said, be careful of the last minute rush because we always tend to get quite a few people at the door as well. And I don't want it to have to turn anyone away. So help me out, help you guys out. Get your tickets right away for this Sunday. They're only $30 a person, $25 a person each if you have a member or if you have a membership to the THM club. Yeah, that being said, oh, and remember that if you book a private reading, holy, stop. So there's a lot of spirit coming through. If you book a private reading during the month of April, your name goes into a draw. And at the end of the month, I will be drawing one of those names on the May 1st live show. We will be drawing one of those names, and that person will win a free group reading for 8. That's a $600 value. Why am I giving this group away? Because it's my birthday month. So it's a good gift, right? I thought so. Okay, so hi to everybody. If this is your first time here, what I'm going to do, and even if it's not, if you've never heard me do this description before, then please listen, because in order for this to work, what you guys have to remember is that I'm not just some magical creature that walks around knowing everything about everybody. That's not how this works. And I get that there's a lot of skeptics out there, and I love skeptics, to be honest, but what you have to realize is that in order for you to understand these messages, we have to work together, because spirit doesn't have a body or a voice to be able to communicate the same way that you and I can. So what they do, since I was a little girl anyway, this is the way it works for me, is they kind of clear out my own personal thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and they replace them with the signs, symbols, pictures, emotions, etc. from spirit. And my job as the medium is to be the one that just brings those forward. And to tell you what I'm seeing, and the chances are you will know what it means even before I will, because they're your messages. So for example, at one of my readings, a lady had lost her son, and he kept showing me my symbol for thank you and a tree. Means nothing to me, but when I told her, she said that the day before that was the anniversary of when her son had passed away, and they had planted a tree, a memorial for him. So he was saying thank you for the tree. But if she didn't validate that for me, then I would not understand the message, because it's not for me, it's for her. So you have to understand that we have to work together to understand these messages. If she didn't validate that for me, I would possibly be like, I don't know, he's thankful for trees, he likes nature, what does this mean? Keeping that in mind throughout this, you're going to hear me say, this is my sign for this, and this is my symbol for that, etc., etc. Because spirit has to go through my filter, so to speak. They go through my thoughts, feelings, experiences, whatever it might be, in order to get me to say whatever it is they need me to say to get the message to you. So 9 times out, so an example of that is like 9 times out of 10 if spirit shows me a rose. That's my symbol for something, for birthday, anniversary, or something that happens once a year. However, because these messages are personal to you, spirit will change it up on me every once in a while. They'll show me a rose because it was somebody's birthday, because it was somebody's name here in the physical world, or because they were a florist here in the physical world. So if you hear me trying to interpret a sign or a symbol the way that I normally would interpret it based on my filter, so to speak, but you understand the message differently, it's very important that you let me know, because you are correct, I am wrong. These are your messages. I am simply the medium, the in-between person. Now, the last thing I want you to keep in mind before we start taking some calls here is that I want you to be careful about your expectations, because I don't get to control who comes through or what they say. And if you are too expecting to hear one thing, you could miss the message altogether. Because what you'll find throughout this is who comes through and what they say is always who and what you need to hear at that moment in time. It's not always who or what you expect to hear, but it's always what we need. And they know best. Trust me, they've proved this to me time and time again. But the thing is, if you are stuck on expecting to hear one thing only, you could miss the message altogether. And a quick example of this was just at Christmas. I did a group for a group of ladies, and I was speaking to the one lady's father who's on the other side, and he kept showing me that he had 7 kids. And the lady said, yes, that's true. And I said, but he's breaking them off into 5 and 2. Is there 5 of one sex and 2 of the other? And she said, no. And I said, well, is there 5 in one city and 2 in the other? She said, no. And I said, I don't know what this means, because he's putting 5 there, 2 here, 5 there, 2 here, 2 here. And I didn't know what that meant. And she couldn't validate it. She's like, I really don't know what that means. And so finally, I had to let it go and move on with the group. But then, and it was one of the only things she couldn't make sense of, or that we couldn't make sense of in the group. And at the end of the reading, she stood up and she said, you know, you were really good, but I'm surprised that you didn't put it together that her and I, and she pointed to another lady in the group, and she said, her and I are sisters. And I was like, are you kidding me? Your dad did say that. He said, listen, Tracy, I have 7 kids. 2 are here. 5 are there. 2 are here. But see, this lady was so expecting to hear sister, 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 sister that she missed the message completely. So please understand that I am just the medium. I don't know that 2 of you are sisters. I don't know that. And your spirit doesn't care if I know that or not. They expect you to keep up, because they're not talking to me. They're talking to you. I am simply the medium that they use to communicate to you at this point. My job is to teach you how to recognize the signs and symbols that are all around you, so that you can recognize when they're in your life on your own. Okay. That being said, let's take some calls.
I don't know that.
Woo! Hello? 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 Oh, she hung up. Sometimes people are just not expecting to get through, I guess. Hello, you're live with Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi, are you calling for the free readings?
I am.
Awesome. What's your first name?
My name is Carly.
Carly. Awesome. Okay. Holy, my heart just started beating. Did you just get nervous?
I did.
Because all of a sudden my heart was like, oh, I'm going to throw up. Okay. Have I ever read for you before, Carly?
No, you haven't. This is the first time I've gotten through.
Awesome. Okay. Well, did you hear the explanation and everything on how I read?
I did, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So what I like to do is I like to start with what I call a grounding exercise. Okay, so you've got a lot of energy around you already. Stop, guys. So what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes, and then when I'm done talking, I want you to take a deep breath, picturing that deep breath starting at your big toe, slowly pulling it all the way up through your body, and then blow it straight through the phone at me, and give me 1 minute to focus.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, slow down, slow down, slow down. Okay, Carly. So what happens is when you do the grounding exercise, it's kind of like I see the stage curtain open, and then I call it the puzzle dump because spirit just like throws everything out at me. So my job is to tell you what I'm seeing, and then we'll go back and figure out what it means after, okay?
Okay, perfect.
So there's a few people that step forward. You can't see this on camera, but I'm like scratching my nose all of a sudden, and I know that that's a symbol of somebody who was in some type of accident or had something wrong with the body when they passed. I don't know why I always pick that up with my nose, but I do.
Okay.
Okay, so right away, then there's a lady that steps forward and she's taking me above you, and I can feel that she can breathe properly. She's like, I can breathe free. I'm clear. She shows me distance or space, so I don't know if this means she was a distance away from you when she passed or she's been on the other side for some time. I feel like I'm on mom's side because I'm going above you. Mom's still here in the physical world, correct?
No, my mom passed away 6 months ago.
That's why she's going mom's side because actually, hold on a second. That's interesting. Whew, goosebumps. Okay, because what I saw, I'm feeling that this is mom's side, but then I saw her putting the white blanket around mom's shoulders, which is my symbol for watching over somebody who has health or stress issues. So interestingly enough, so what happens oftentimes is that the person that we want to talk to isn't the first person that comes forward. The person who's been there longer than them comes forward first to let you know that there is not a single moment that your mom has been on the other side by herself, that her loved ones have been there from the very first second. Your mom's mom is on the other side?
No, my dad's mom is. My mom's dad is on the other side.
Okay, so this lady that's around your mom, Kate, so stick with me here because she's coming forward, taking deep breaths, letting you know she can breathe free and clear on that side. There's distance or space. She's showing me that she's been there for some time or she lived a distance away from you. And I can feel the love going from her to mom. So it is possible this could be dad's mom because it feels like a mother figure to her. But the feeling is that she very much loved her. So this would not have been like you know how some mother-in-law, daughter-in-law relationships are like, I'm not feeling that.
Yeah. No, my grandma was very, very close with my mom. My grandma never had a driver's license, and my mom was actually the one that taught her how to drive, and so they had a very close relationship.
And grandma passed before mom did, correct?
Yes, my grandma passed away in 2005.
Yeah, a long time ago. See, that's why she's showing me the distance or space. I have goosebumps up and down my whole body because she loves you so much too. She's like kissing you all over. Very excited to be the one to tell you, Mom's here with me, Mom's here with me. But more importantly, that she was there with you while all this was going on. Because what she keeps showing me is that I just keep hearing this is a disaster. This is a disaster. How is this happening? How is this happening? I'm seeing like everything's happening so fast. I think this was definitely some type of health issue or something. But there's white lighters all around mom's soul as she steps forward. So white lighters are beings of pure white light on the other side, and their job is to help souls heal. So typically they surround somebody who either takes responsibility for their passing, committed suicide, or whose passing was sudden, unexpected, or traumatic in such a way that there is still lots of healing needed for the soul that passed or the people that are left behind.
Yes. My mom had colon cancer.
Why does she keep telling me? Okay, so remember when this first started, I said that my nose getting really itchy is a sign that there was something wrong with the body or we looked different when we passed than we did when we lived. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Towards the end, she got very, very bloated, and her tummy became very, very distended because her liver was so swollen, and the tumor on her liver had gotten so large, and then her organs started shutting down, including her lungs. And so everything just shut down completely, and the last couple of days she wasn't even coherent. Like, I'm sure she could hear us, but she couldn't speak back to us.
And it just went so fast, right? So fast.
Yeah, they gave her And a week later, she was gone.
Okay, so hold on a second. Your mom shows me 3. Is there 3 kids? Who's the 3?
I have 3 kids.
There you go. So because she's showing me watching over the 3 and kissing them, and she's making me feel like she's not missing a beat on that side. Like, how do I explain this? Hold on. She's showing me that life has been very busy, and then she's talking about, don't you feel bad that your life is still so busy? I see. Because you had no choice but to carry on after she passed. It happened so quick. There's no time to grieve. And then there's almost like there's a feeling of feeling guilty because you didn't have time to grieve so much.
And I was pregnant with my 3rd one when she passed away.
That's why she's talking about this. Because she needs you to know that she hasn't missed a single minute of what's going on in your life. And that she's just experiencing this in spirit now. Hold on. Slow this down. She keeps showing me distance or space. Was she away from the kids before? Because here's the thing. Sometimes spirit steps forward and makes me feel like they are participating in your life more now that they're in spirit than she did when she was in the physical world. I don't know if that's just because she lived a distance away from you or if it was the health issues, but she's making me feel like...
I think both, because they lived about a half an hour away from us on a farm. But then when she got sick, it was like we didn't get to spend as much time with her because if my kids were sick, then we couldn't go out and visit.
There you go.
If she wasn't feeling good, we couldn't go visit.
That's why she's excited. She's pointing from herself. Did you have a baby girl for the last one?
A boy.
Okay. Is one of your kids named after her or something? Because she's pointing from herself to the child.
Yes, my mom's maiden name was Davis, and that's what we named the baby.
Shut up! Sorry, that just gave me goosebumps everywhere. Because I could see the baby being named after. That's why I said, was this a girl? Because she's showing me named after me. When you said it was a boy, she didn't change. She's like, yeah, still named after me, Tracy. Still named after me.
He is.
See, she's validating that she knows about this. She's so, I feel like almost like your mom planned her passing. I know that sounds crazy, but if you think of life in the sense that we all are living our own movie, right? And before we come here, we kind of give ourselves exit points. And your mom is making me feel like she had the perfect exit point. She doesn't want you to think that she left before she got to see your son or anything like that because she's experiencing that in spirit. And she's making me feel like she's not sad that she passed before baby was born, because if she had have stuck around, she wouldn't have been able to be there in the room with you when he was born.
Exactly.
And she was. And she doesn't want you to feel guilty about participating in your life and enjoying your life going forward, because she feels so relieved to be able to enjoy her life moving forward. She's bringing forward.
Yeah, I feel like she's here more now than when she was sick, because when I had my daughter, she had just gotten diagnosed.
Yeah.
And so she wasn't able to spend as much time with us.
That's exactly how she's bringing that information through, Carly. That's exactly how she's bringing it through. So she's not wanting. I'm trying to get her to pull her energy back. She's like, no, I've got more to say. She's bringing forward the gentleman. Is your father also on the other side?
No, he's here in the physical world.
Okay, because she's bringing forward the gentleman to the side. So to the side is often contemporary spouse, sibling, somebody who's around our same age. She's bringing him forward, and she's showing me how excited she is to be reunited with him. I think he was on the other side for some time.
My papa, her dad, passed away in July.
Nope, when you say him, he steps forward too, but this is somebody else, because she's showing me distance or space, which she's showing me time regression. So there's something interesting, and I feel like I'm going to your dad. That's why I'm going to your dad. Does your dad have a brother or somebody who is like a brother to him, very close to him on the other side, that has been there for a long time?
Oh, yes. My dad's brother passed away a long, long time ago before I was even born.
There you go. that's who she's very excited to please let your dad know that he is there on the other side, and he will be the first face that your dad sees when he gets to that side, because I feel like your dad, this bothers him, that he misses his brother so much.
It does. It does bother my dad the way that my uncle passed. He committed suicide, and it's been. I think the blame was put on my dad for a long time because he wasn't there for him, and so I think my dad feels still uneasy about that, even though it's been so long.
Well, Carly, please do your uncle the favor of letting your dad see this video, because he needs to let your dad know that he's fine. He's safe and at peace on the other side, and he loves him so much. He needs your dad to let that go.
Yes, I will. I will let my dad know that. Thank you so much.
And he just put the white blanket around his shoulders, which is my symbol for somebody that has health or stress issues. And what do I feel? Does your dad drive a lot?
Yes.
Because he's putting him behind the wheel, and his brother is talking about that he goes on these long drives with him all the time. So when
my
you're
dad, lives outside of the city, and so he drives back and forth every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, depending on if he has to go home to grab something. So yeah, he does a lot of highway driving.
So please let him know that when he does that, his brother is sitting right beside him. And he knows that he talks to him in his mind. He's saying, I hear you, bro, I hear you. Just know I'm here and I'm absolutely safe and at peace. And then I see your mom go, I think that was her favorite part of this whole reading, was to be able to bring him forward for your dad. She's just showing me, I love him, I love him, I love him. Your dad was your parents were very close, correct?
Yes, yes.
She's thanking him for the way that he cared for her. No, actually, she's thanking him for the way that he cared for the family and helped them deal with her passing. I feel like he kind of stayed strong for everybody, and he cried in private, kind of thing.
Yes, very much so.
She loves him so much, and she loves you. Now she's pulling her energy back. I hope this was helpful.
It was very helpful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You have a great rest of your week.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, see, the hard part for me, guys, is I just want to read forever. Like, keep reading until Spirit's totally done, but one message at a time. Okay, here we go. Hello, you're live with Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi, are you calling for the free readings?
I am.
Awesome. What is your first name?
Joy.
Joy?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, your name is Joy, but I feel sadness, Joy. That's all I feel is so much grief when you're calling in. Were you just crying, hun?
No.
Interesting. There's a lot of grief around you.
Yes.
Okay. It's just, sorry, I don't mean to comment on it like that. It's just a paradox. It's like, my name's Joy, but I feel like grief. Okay. Interesting. And I've got Spirit talking already, so I got to try to quiet them down so that we can get right to this. Are you sitting somewhere where you are quiet and you have both feet flat on the floor?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so slow this down. Yeah, she's a little bossy. Slow down. Okay, so if I can get you to close your eyes, and then when I'm done talking, what I want you to do is put both feet flat on the floor, and then I want you to take a deep breath, picturing that deep breath starting at your big toe, slowly pulling it all the way up through your body, and then blow it straight through the phone at me and give me 1 minute to focus. Okay. Interesting, Joy, I have to say. Okay, have I ever read for you before?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that actually explains a little bit, because what's going on is you have a whole bunch of people coming forward, but then I also felt your guides coming around. And they're showing me a lot of darkness around you right now, which is my symbol for challenge. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going through hard times that are evil or bad stuff is happening. It just means that we're going through a hard time right now. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So right away that I'm sensing two women. So keeping in mind that this is what I call the puzzle dump, where they're just throwing out information at me. So I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing, and then we'll go back and figure out what it means. Right away, I see two women step forward. I'm hearing sister, so I don't know if they're sisters or this is your sister. I'm not sure. But there's two women that come forward hand in hand. Very important to let you know they're together on that side. There's a gentleman that comes forward as well, and there's a grief around this man. Do you have a spouse on the other side, Joy?
No, I don't.
So interesting. Okay, so then he's probably connected to your spouse. Are you married or
No,
in a
divorce.
relationship?
Kind of.
Okay. Because I know that I have both families coming forward here. So give me a second. I want to start with, well, then that's interesting. Because then when I focus on your family, I see the two women and then I see the father figure that's there as well. And I don't know who I want to start with. I think I want to start with the women. Whoa, I'm going to start with the women. As soon as I said I don't know who to start, she's like, what do you mean? You told me I was being bossy, so I waited. And now you're going to tell me you don't know who to start with? Okay. I'm going above you. So one of the ways that I ask Spirit to validate who they are is by telling me how they passed away. I keep hearing mama, 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 mama. Is your mom on the other side, hun?
Yes, she is.
So, and does she have the sister on the other side or do you?
She has sisters.
Okay, because I just hear sister, sister, sister. And she's like showing me coming forward together, holding hands. Like this is important for you to know that they're all together on that side.
Okay.
How do you understand four? Was there four girls in her family? Or is there four on that side?
There's 4 on that side, yes.
Because she shows me four. So this guy. That's interesting. Your mom just put on rose colored glasses, which is my symbol for seeing things differently on that side than they did when they were here in the physical world. Um, See, she's skipping over the how she died part because this is how you can tell I spoke to you before. Because spirit doesn't like every time they come forward, they don't want to tell me how they died. They look at me like, you morbid little lady. Like, what is your problem? Let's just get to the message. Slow this down. Did somebody just die, honey? Why do I feel like there's death around you? I don't know how to explain this. Either you are still grieving somebody's death. I don't know if this is mom's death or if this is this gentleman that's over here. Or somebody just died not long ago.
Um, I just lost my dog.
Recently.
Sure. Recently, in February, actually.
And when you say you lost your dog, have you been trying? Here's the thing. When you say, how do I even explain this? Sometimes when we lose our animals, it can be worse than losing our loved ones, if that makes sense. The grief is more devastating than say when we lose a brother who we haven't spoken to for 10 years. But we can't really say it out loud because then people think we're crazy because oh, it's just a dog. Does that make sense?
It does.
And I feel like you've been trying to bury this grief around your dog. You don't want anyone to see that you're crazy or make you think you're crazy because you're grieving this dog so much. But I'm telling you, I can feel the grief of missing this dog so much.
Yeah, he was with me for 20 years.
He's bouncing and running like a puppy. There must have been a mobility issue towards the end because he's very much emphasizing that he has free mobility. Does that make sense?
Yes, he couldn't get up in the last few days.
He was in pain as well. And I'm hearing, ah! Like when you would go to move him, did he like howl or like cry?
No, actually, he didn't make a sound.
Okay, what am I hearing then? Hold on. He's showing. That's interesting because I'm still hearing that. And when I asked him, well, she didn't hear that. Why not? What he made me feel was that he was trying to be. See, dogs, they come here with a unique purpose. Their entire purpose is to make us feel loved. And your dog took this very seriously. He's making me feel like he took his role very seriously. And so he tried to keep his pain to himself. And he keeps showing me that he was in a lot of pain, and he's emphasizing that with, and but then when I ask him why, he's showing me reassurance because you did the right thing. Did you have him put down?
I did.
That's why. Because even though, and so you wondered, was that the right thing to do? Was that the right thing to do? He didn't look like he was in too much pain. Should I have just left him? You asked yourself those questions, right?
Yes.
That's why he's showing me the pain, and he's making me hear that, like dogs do when they're in pain, because he needs you to know that he didn't want you to see that, because I'm feeling you had to go to work and you had to do these life things, and you wouldn't have been able to do that if you had have thought he was in such intense pain. But he needs you to know he's extremely grateful for you having the courage to put him down, and he makes me feel like you never left his side. You stayed there right for the entire thing, hey?
I did.
Do you still have his blanket or something? Because he's taking me to his things.
I do. It's right here on my bed, actually.
So please know that he's with you at this exact moment, and he's with you all the time, and thanking you for giving him such a great life. He's talking about you rescued him. Was he a rescue?
No, actually, I had him as a puppy, but I did have a rescue dog as well that died a couple of years ago.
So what he's saying is that the rescue dog is coming through and they're together on the other side, and the rescue dog's taking that moment because his time feels cut short a little bit. You didn't have as long with
Yes.
him as you did with the other one. Does that make sense?
No, it does, yes.
But he wants to thank you for saving his life. It made a difference. Just know it made a difference.
It did.
Now they're with your mom. And it's funny because I don't think your mom was the biggest dog person.
No, she wasn't.
It's
No.
so funny because I see these dogs run over and she's like, okay, I'm taking care of the dogs. Don't worry. She's like, it gives me something to do. And then, so slow this down. She kisses dad's cheek and she's showing me distance or I mean travel, not distance or space, travel. Has dad moved since mom's passed, or are we talking about moving? There's something going on with the house or moving or travel.
My dad's is on the other side as well.
Oh, okay, interesting. So hold on, what is she showing me then here? Because this would be dad's way of stepping forward then. But I'm seeing distance or space and travel at the same time. So the symbols are very similar. So give me a second to see what she's trying to say here. That's weird because, okay, see, this is where it's hard to be a medium because I don't know what any of this means. It's your messages. Because your mom showed me putting a white blanket over dad's shoulders, but then I feel like dad passed before mom.
He did, yes.
So that doesn't make sense in my head because the white blanket is spirit's way of acknowledging that they watched over somebody who had health or stress issues. So just give me a second here. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. So a couple of things. So she is putting the white blanket around dad's shoulders on the other side. And that's why I'm picking up distance or space because dad's been there for quite some time, correct?
Yes.
That's the distance or the space. I'm feeling a relief to be able to be reunited with dad and care for him again. I feel like your mom was like dad's caregiver. Does that make sense? When they were
Yeah.
here in the physical world. Like I know that that's from a different generation. Like she's showing me my grandmother that the women did the cooking, the cleaning, the caring, the nurturing. But she's making me feel like she's extremely relieved to be able to continue to do those things on the other side.
Yes. Makes sense.
Was Dad's passing sudden or unexpected? Because he just makes me feel like 1 minute I was here, 1 minute I was gone. And then he shows me age progression, which is my symbol for watching over you as your life grows. Were you in your like 20s or so when he passed, or early? Even before that? I'm not sure. You were quite young when he passed, correct?
In my 30s.
Now, so you'll have to forgive me because I can't see you, but was this like 20 or 30 years ago? Because he's taking me back.
25 years.
There we go. That's why I'm feeling time progression, because your dad needs you to know that he's been watching over you the entire time. And then again, there's something to do with the house. Okay, so slow this down. See, spirit doesn't change their signs and symbols. It's just how you validate it can change the interpretation. Okay, so hold on. So mom's showing me choices or decisions. Okay, I don't know how this is connected to dad then. Did mom live in the same house that dad lived, or that they were living in after dad passed?
Yes.
And then there's something about thanking you for the choices and decisions that you made with the house around the passing, but I think this happened before she passed. And there's a thank you because I don't think she was able to make those decisions all on her own, because I feel like I'm stuck because of emotional. It's almost like, well, my husband lived in that house, I can't sell it. Does that make sense?
Well, we moved her out of the house because it was an older house, and we moved her into my brother's house who was away.
But she's thanking you for making that decision for her because she was too emotionally attached to that place to make that decision for herself. Does that make sense?
That would make sense.
And that's why she was showing me before she passed. She wanted to take this moment to thank you for the house. And when I asked her why, or thank you for that move, when I asked her why, she said, because she's showing me my symbol for communication and then the mind. So she's making me feel like she was unable to communicate how much peace that gave her. And I don't know if that's just she never said that, how much peace that, yeah, the mind, because she was battling the emotional connection she had for that house. So she couldn't give you the gratitude that you deserved for that. Does that make sense?
It does.
She needs you to know that she sees things differently on the other side, and she is so extremely lucky to have had you for a daughter. She said, Tracy, say that again. And so when spirit overemphasizes something, it's usually because they didn't say it enough here in the physical world. And I feel like she really needs to validate you. She's validating you as a daughter, like that you gave her more love in her life than she was able to articulate at the time. Slow this down. And I don't know if she just never said, I'm proud of you very often, if that was just a generational thing or that's just how she was raised or whatnot, but she's overemphasizing, I'm proud of you, I'm proud of you, I'm proud of you. Does that make sense?
It does a lot, yes.
She just put the white blanket around your shoulders and kissed your cheek, which is my symbol for watching over somebody who has health or stress issues. And then she rips the blanket off and she's like, you got this. So was there just some kind of health thing, or did you just have the flu, or what is this? Because taking the blanket off indicates healing or getting better.
I did have the flu, and my grandson is in the hospital at the moment.
That's why she's watching over. Hold on. She's bringing forward the person to the side again. Hold on. So your grandson's family as well. Everybody's watching over him. They're telling that he's not going to die. He's not going to die. That's a little dramatic. I don't think anybody thinks he's going to die. Is this like diabetes or something like that? Because I feel like there's something going on that we're going to be able to control. Does that make sense?
No, it's actually a respiratory virus, and he's handicapped as well.
I see. That's what, okay. So that's why, so when I say it feels like diabetes, it feels like it's something that we're going to be able to control. So what I mean by that is that it doesn't feel like a complete cure, so to speak. What I'm feeling around him is that there's health issues that are going to carry with him for the rest of his life, but this is not going to take his life. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And I feel like these respiratory issues, he's susceptible to these. These are not the first time that he's dealt with this, correct?
That's right.
That's why it feels like something like diabetes that has to be cared for going forward, but is not a complete cure. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Why is she showing me artwork? How old is this grandson? Is he like 7 or 8?
7.
And does he do like lots of paintings or something? Like I'm seeing drawings and paintings or something all over.
He doesn't, because he doesn't have that mobility.
So who's doing all of the, no, I feel like, so he's in the hospital right now, right?
Yes.
Did like his brother, does he have siblings or somebody draw him pictures or something? I'm seeing kids' artwork all over his room.
He does have a sister. Yes.
Did she draw him some pictures? Do you
I'm
know?
not. I'm not sure. No. They don't live together. The parents.
Interesting. So when I asked her to validate this, she's like, well, you'd see if you walked in the room. And I'm like, well, I'm not in the room. I don't know what this means. So is he a distance or a space away from you?
Yes.
So you haven't been in the room either.
No, right now he's in another province, actually. He's in Halifax.
That's why. See, huh. So you can't validate this information, but Spirit doesn't care if you know at this exact moment because see, when you tell is this your daughter's child or your son's child?
My son.
So when you tell your son, like, what is with the pictures, there's either something about brightly colorful pictures all around him or in his room. There's something about the pictures that Spirit is trying to bring forward to validate for you that even though you're not there and you can't see what's going on in that room, your parents are. And they're very much watching over your family and wanting to reassure you and your son that he's going to be okay. Your son's doing a better job than he gives himself credit for. Your mom's taking me to the mind and saying that he's pretty hard on himself.
Yes, he is.
She said, you give him a kiss from grandma. So I feel a lot of love going from grandma to your son. Were they very close here in the physical world?
Yes, they were.
She is like, oh, Grandma gushing all over him. And by Grandma gush, that's where, you know how you see in the movies, they grab their cheeks and they're like, oh my God, I love you, love you, love you. Like, I very much see that. And she's showing me the hands. Has he been in a bit of a trying relationship recently? Or is there, what is this?
Yeah, well, he, uh, his ex, my grandson's mother left him a couple of years ago, so
There we go.
he's basically on his own now.
And that's why he's being so hard on himself. And that's why your mom's showing me the hands going apart and coming together, because that's my symbol for a trying relationship or a relationship coming apart. But what she's emphasizing is that keep yourself positive. You're doing a better job than you think you are. And you can't move forward if you're depressed. So make sure that you monitor your thoughts. She's talking to him now because he's got this and there is love coming into his life as long as he doesn't get too down in the dumps, because she's making me feel like nobody likes a sourpuss. Don't forget to smile.
Yeah.
She's trying to set him up on the other side. And then I see your dad going, leave the boy alone. And she's like, never you mind. Where were you all these years? This is my job. You leave me alone. Oh, she's not missing a beat on that side, honey. And she feels very free. Free of the physical body, the limitations, the mind. Remember, she was taking me to the mind. She's free of all of that on the other side. And she's saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. And then I hear happy birthday. Who just had the birthday that just passed or is coming up? I want to go to May. May, June, May, June, May, June. It's the end of the spring, beginning of the summer.
Well, Caleb, that's my grandson that's in the hospital. His birthday is in June.
There you go. So again, validating that he is going to be just fine. And that her soul is watching over him, watching over you. They can be in all places at the same time. And she says that message goes double for you. Give yourself credit. Give yourself credit for doing a better job than you think you're doing. Just because you're far away doesn't mean that you haven't been an emotional support for him, because I feel like you have been. You've been as much of an emotional support as you can be. Have you and your son gotten a lot closer through the separation that he went through?
Yes.
She's saying embrace that, know that that's real, and that you have been that soft place for him to fall, giving him the ability to find his confidence again, and he's gonna be okay.
Okay.
She's pulling her energy back. I hope that was helpful.
It was very, very helpful. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You have a great rest of your day, okay?
You too. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, see, I love spirit. They know what to say and what they're talking about. We're going to take another call. Here we go. Hello, you're live with Tracy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Who am I talking to?
This is Nikki.
Nikki.
Yes.
Awesome. One of my best friends is named Nikki. Have I spoken to you before?
You have spoken with me before. But before we keep going, your live feed is making a really weird noise.
Oh,
Like a high pitch.
that's spirit. I don't know if this helped, if anybody can fix, or if, did it stop? I guess you can't listen.
Live anymore.
Sometimes if the phone is too close to the computer, it'll do that. And sometimes it's just spirit. You guys, I'm pulling the phone all the way over here. So if it didn't fix, there's nothing I can do about it. That sometimes is just what happens when there's so much spirit that comes through. I can't control it.
Totally. Okay.
Okay, so I apologize if it's a loud pitch, high pitch, but I'm short of like cutting it off and then restarting it. There's not much I can do. So hopefully you'll still be able to get a message out of this.
Okay, well, I was listening before, so I'm still excited I'm here.
Okay, good. But thank you for telling me that. Okay, so what was your first name again?
It's Nikki.
Nikki, right. See, you said that. Slow down. Okay, you have excited spirit, and there's a young person here because he's got a lot of energy. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so let's do the grounding exercise. So close your eyes, both feet flat on the floor. And then what I want you to do is when I'm done talking, I want you to take a deep breath, picturing that deep breath starting at your big toe, slowly pulling it all the way up through your body, and then blow it straight towards me and give me 1 minute to focus.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, so Nikki, what happens when you do the grounding exercise is it's kind of like I see the stage curtain open, and then I call it the puzzle dump because all this information just comes flooding out at me. And then, so what I'm going to do is tell you what I'm seeing, and we'll go back and figure out what it means after, okay?
Okay.
I want to start with the younger person because they're very much confusing me. So right away, there's an energy that's here that is, well, there's a couple of energies I'm aware of, but I'm having a little bit trouble focusing in because there's a sense of confusion coming around somebody. They're showing me my symbol for depression or up and down thinking, or even just not right thinking. I'm seeing quick or unexpected. Somebody has white lighters all around them, which is my symbol for, well, not white lighters isn't a symbol. White lighters are beings on the other side that are pure white light. Their job is to help souls heal. So they will typically surround somebody who either takes responsibility for their passing, committed suicide, or whose passing was sudden, unexpected, or traumatic in such a way that there's a lot of healing needed for the person that passed or the people that are still here. Who's the young person around you that passed suddenly or unexpectedly, traumatically?
David.
And who is this to you?
Just a very close family friend.
Do you understand the up and down or erratic thinking, the depression or the making bad choices kind of? He's showing me the up and down.
In a way, yes, I totally understand.
But then he takes me, he's like, do not mistake, I didn't kill myself, Tracy. And I'm like, I didn't say you did. And he's like, I made some bad choices. And he's showing me up and down thinking. Oh, I just knocked my glasses off. Up and down thinking. Slow this down. I'm tasting blood. Was this an accident, hun?
Yes.
Because blood is my symbol for tragedy. And again, even as you were taught, like when you first started calling in, I started itching my nose again. And so that's always a symbol for me that the body was different when I passed than it was when I lived.
Yeah.
He's like, da 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 da, I'm over here and I'm free. I'm free, I'm free, I'm free. Slow this down. There's a huge happiness, which almost seems inappropriate because he's on the other side and I can feel the grief that's for the people that are here. I want to go back 1 or 2. Was this 1 or 2 years ago?
This was exactly 1 year today.
There we go. That's why you got through today. You know that, right?
Yeah.
He's like, this is exactly why. And I think it's interesting that it's, this is what I say to people who say that I'm a fraud or that this type of thing is not real. It's like, really? Because you're the third person I talked to today. I didn't go to a person with white lighters all around them, the young person. I didn't say that to the people that came before. I said that to you because it's personal for each person, right? He's showing me the thank you for honoring, and I'm seeing everybody coming together, but he's taking me to the end of the week. Are you guys going to do something to honor him?
So right now, little backstory. He drowned in Cuba on vacation with my mom. And my mom has just left for Cuba, and they are in Cuba right now and going to do, just kind of like a celebratory of life type thing.
I have goosebumps up and down my entire body, and they're there until the end of the week?
Yeah.
That's what he's thanking them for, honoring him. He said he needs you guys to know that his soul is there with them and with you at the same time because you're not there. And he's like, don't you feel bad about that. He's like, I can still hear you all at the same time. And then this is why he feels so happy and excited on the other side because it's freaking Cuba. That's the way he says it to me. He's like, I died in Cuba. He's like, this is awesome because now they travel here all the time and I get to come with them. And I feel like it's a beautiful place. He's saying it was my time. Oh, slow this down. He's going back to mom and he's taking me to her head and she's filled with coulda, woulda, shouldas. I shouldn't have let him go that way. Was he drinking or something when he went? I don't know how to, you said he drowned, but here's the thing. He's taking me to before that. He's showing me mom and her mental, what she's saying to herself. And he's making me feel like she's going back through. I shouldn't have let him go because I should have known better. I should have known better. Like this shouldn't have happened. And she's putting it all on herself. And he's trying to let her know that it was just his time.
My mom is a mom. She watches out for everybody. So the fact that she was there, I think that she puts a lot of blame on herself that it even happened. But, it was a split-second thing. You looked away, and then all of a sudden he went underwater, and a riptide grabbed him, and he was taken away Beltree Resorts. And there was nothing anyone could have done, because even if she tried to help him, she could have got in the riptide too. So.
See, and even as you're saying that, he's showing me my symbol for repeat, 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 repeat. So when spirit makes me repeat something, it's usually a symbol for that it wasn't said enough here in the physical world or whatnot. So as you're saying, describing that story, he's making me feel like mom needs to remember that there was, because even though as you say it out loud, it's one thing to know that, but it's another thing to feel that because I think she feels the responsibility. Why is he showing me his picture is up there? Did they put his picture up in Cuba? What does this mean?
Not in Cuba. My mom has a wall of family and friends where she just has pictures, and after he passed, she went and found a picture of him and put him up on our wall.
He's like, thank you. He's like, thank you for using the picture I love, because I feel like she switched it out. She was going to do a different picture and she used that one. He likes that picture better.
Yeah.
Interesting. Were you guys around the same age, hun?
He was no, he was around my mom's age. So
Okay.
I think 50-ish.
Interesting, because you know what? That's funny. Oh, that's why he's pointing to you and he's making me feel like we could be twins. We could be twins. And I'm like, how does that work? Especially when you said he was 50. And now I get it. Because when they get to that side, the thing that I've noticed is that spirit will come through the age that they were the happiest or the age that they felt the best, the healthiest. And that's how he's showing me, young on the other side.
Yeah. He was a looker then, so I could see him going to that age.
That's exactly what he's doing. He's like, look at how great I am on this side. Oh, he's loving your mom to pieces. This wasn't a romance. I don't know if this was or wasn't a romantic thing, because he shows me my privacy symbol around that as far as your mom goes. Not. I don't. Wait. Careful how I say this. He's laughing at me right now. Is your mom and dad still together?
No, my mom and dad aren't together. And he was very much openly in love with my mother.
There we go. But it wasn't reciprocated totally, correct?
No.
That's why I feel like this was like some type of relationship, but it's not. And he's laughing at me, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like an inside joke, right? He's still openly loving her on the other side
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
and watching over you.
I talk to him all the time.
Do people get the tattoo for him? He's showing me the tattoo. And then I feel the amusement again, almost like somebody who would never get a tattoo before is actually either thinking about or has gotten a tattoo.
I don't know her personally, but yes, I've seen that someone got a tattoo for him, and I've also been talking about a tattoo that I want to get for him.
That's where he's talking about, is the one that you're. And do you not have any other tattoos?
Oh no, I have a couple right now.
Okay, because he's telling me that there's a thank you for doing this, because I feel like surprise, like there's an element of him being surprised that you are doing this for him, which is why I thought, well, maybe she doesn't have any other tattoos. Why would this be a surprise? And he's just validating I love you and thank you.
Yeah.
Hmm. He just took it. Oh, interesting. So have you been recently going through a little bit of a hard time, hey?
Yes.
Because he put the darkness around, but I gotta say that it feels if okay. So when I see the darkness, that's my symbol for challenge. But the way I see it is kind of like a very thick fog that surrounds somebody, like a black fog. But in your case, he's showing me the fog that was black in the past is now turning to a light gray and is moving forward. And he's showing me how incredibly proud he is of you for taking these steps to move yourself into this positive light. He needs you to know that he's watching and that he's there to help. And I'm feeling that he's acknowledging the talking to him, and that he's showing me saluting, like da 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 da. I am your man. Like whatever you need, you got it. Like, hold on, slow this down. And saluting is also a symbol of respect. But then again, I feel like he's bringing forward a grandfather figure on the other side as well. You have a bunch of men that are protecting you right now. Are you going through a breakup or a relationship issue of some sort?
It's been a hard time for our relationship right now that I'm in. Yes.
You're in this relationship right now.
Yep.
But you're not married, right?
No. I've been with this person though for like 6 years. So.
Well, Nikki, right?
Yes.
Let me just say, I say this with a grain of salt because I'm not telling anybody how to live their life, But I am telling you that all the father figures that you have on the other side are stepping forward with shotguns, which is my symbol that if anybody hurts you, look out, is just the way that they're putting that forward. So in other words, free will, you get to choose your own life. And if this is the person that you want in your life, then they will do everything to help you. But if he hurts you, so help him God. That I feel like he best be careful. Like, I feel like he's on a second or a third chance. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And they're like showing me, I'm watching you, and just trying to give you that reassurance that if and when, because there feels like there was a betrayal of some sort there in the past. And then I feel like you're afraid to be betrayed again or to be hurt like that again. And so you're having trouble putting this trust in him. Does that make sense?
100%, yep.
And they're talking about that they're watching on the other side, and that if and when you have reason to doubt his trust again, that they're going to bring that information to you. They're talking about that every time that this was going on or whatever was going on, because I feel like it was hidden from you or something, that it's them that brings it to your attention, not because they want to hurt you, but because they want you to be able to see it for what it is so that you can either deal with it or move on, because you deserve love in your life, honey. You deserve so much better than this. You just got to remember that you are worth it.
Thank you.
Grandpa's been on the other side for a long time, hey?
Yeah, a couple of years now.
Feels like even longer. Like it's one of those situations where you miss them so much it feels like an eternity.
You just took the words right out of my mouth there.
He is loving you so much. Your friend is like very proud to be able to bring this man forward. And he's saying, remember, you are my baby girl. And if any man, if you want to know what to do, you just look at the situation through your daughter's eyes. Pretend that your daughter is in your situation right now. What do you tell her to do? Stay and take it or stand up for herself?
Yep.
And then he's like, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And he's pulling his energy back. I hope this was helpful, hon.
Yes, and you are absolutely amazing. I just want to say thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. And
Thank you again.
thank you for telling me that, because this is why I do what I do. I just hope that it brings you guys a little bit of peace.
It does, and it helps a lot, so it's great.
You're very welcome. Have a great rest of your week, okay?
You too. Thanks so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
All right, you guys. Unfortunately, I have to leave it there because I have another appointment coming up in like 15 minutes. So I got to move my butt here. But I will be back again tomorrow for members of the THM Club. If you don't know what the THM Club is, then check it out on my Facebook page. Go to the notes section. Or on my website, there's a tab for the THM Club. And then I'll be back again on Thursday, open to everybody who wants to call in. And don't forget, get your tickets for the end of the month show, because if you think this is fun, you should see it in a big group where you can hear other people's answers. You can see it's just more interactive. It's way more personal and emotional. And actually, if I wasn't the one doing the readings, I would pay to go to it, because it's not like you're sitting in some big auditorium with 50,000 people and you never know if you're going to get a reading. At least when there's only 50 people, sure, you might not get a reading, but chances are much better that you will. And what I've learned is that even if you don't, the people that come are going to be people that you can relate to in your situation, and spirit will piggyback so that they can get messages to as many people as possible. So thank you guys all. I hope that there wasn't too much like in the background. I can't control spirit, unfortunately, when it comes to that stuff. But thank you guys all, and I will see you again tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.